There are so many amazing character arcs in movies, but then there are some that are just completely awful, and you're like, why did they do that through these series of movies, and they just kept making it worse over time? What were they thinking? So today I'm talking about the best and worst character arcs in movies, and one that's in a TV show. Logan, oh my god, Logan, you are fantastic. Hugh Jackman's portrayal as Wolverine in all of these movies. I don't really have an issue with any of these films' performances. Sure, X-Men Origins Wolverine isn't a good film, really, but I still have a soft spot for it. And I think Wolverine's really well portrayed in that film. Like, I think he has some interesting character moments, he has some cool things, but yeah, those claws CGI. But if I was going to narrow down all of Wolverine's performances, I'd have to look at the film Logan. There is a lot of good character arcs through this series of films, but I feel like Logan just encapsulates all of that. It's like lightning in a bottle as a film alone. So I'm going to just focus my attention on that. So it's about Logan. He's dying. He's got Charles Xavier with him, and he's got like Alzheimer's, and he's accidentally hurting a lot of people when he's powers because he can't control when he has seizures and all that. And then he encounters his daughter, and then he's like, okay, now I kind of feel guilty, and he has to like kind of help her get away from these people that are trying to capture her and kill her. But Wolverine's like, all I want to do is go out to the sea with Charles, live the rest of my days out there, then blow my brains out with an adamantium bullet. Like, that's all he wants to do. But he does the right thing as a hero, and it's just such a gritty, engrossing story. The action is just amazing, but we're not talking about the action, but I just had to slip that in. His character arc of just going from, no, I don't give a shit about anyone, I'm not doing this shit anymore, I'm done, but then he comes around, does the right thing, and he ends up giving his life at the end of this film. And it is such an emotionally gripping relationship, the weird bond he has with his daughter by the end, and you just go, oh my god, Logan, I'm so proud of you, man. What an ending to the character. Worst, Finn. This one really annoys me, because in The Force Awakens, if you look at that film alone, just as a singular film, and you go, his character arc is great in that film, I find. Like, he's a stormtrooper. He doesn't want to be killing innocent people. He just goes, no, I'm not doing the right thing anymore. He defects. He helps Poe get off the ship, and he starts to go join the Resistance on it. That's fantastic. Like, why didn't they just stick with that route? I don't understand how they messed it up so bad in The Last Jedi when they made him go on a wild goose chase to a gambling casino to help out slavery. They do all these things with Rose, and he does this whole entire thing of story, and it goes nowhere, and they get betrayed at the end. That was just a waste of a character potential for Finn. Like, sure, he was still kind of a front runner in that film at least, and then the Rise of Skywalker happens, and they just shove him in the back lines. He's a comedic joke. All he's doing is screaming, Rey, 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 and make a joke about that he was kind of into Rey, and he had a bit of a love connection with her, and I feel like that connection was genuine in The Force Awakens, but yeah, apparently we're just going to make fun of that. Really disappointing, really annoys me, and I cannot go back and watch The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker again. I think those other ones aren't that good. Worse, so this is the one I was talking about, how it's one TV show. Daenerys Targaryen. I can't not put her on this list, because I feel like it would be a complete a complete stab at me, because oh my god, what the hell was going on here? I didn't like Daenerys Targaryen in the beginning. I thought she was a bit flat, a bit boring. I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. And then she starts to do the redemption arc. She frees the Unsullied. She gets her baby dragons. She starts raising them. She starts to do all these interesting things. Then she starts to move finally in season 6 or 7 towards King's Landing, and you're like, yes, she's getting into the action. Things are starting to happen. She's going to start trying to take that throne down. Then all of a sudden, season 8, D&D just got the script and went, yep, she's got a switch that goes off in her head because she's been deprived of sleeping with her nephew, Jon Snow. So apparently she just goes, nope, that's it. I'm going to just murder everybody in King's Landing. What? Oh my god. In just that scene where everyone surrenders in King's Landing. I'm sorry if you haven't seen it, this is going to be spoiling it, but she just decides instead to burn everyone in sight instead of going to the Red Keep and killing Cersei straight up. So Cersei doesn't really die from Daenerys attacking it straight away. She just dies from rubble falling later on from all parts of the town because Daenerys was too busy just lighting up civilians. And I'm like, okay, we didn't have enough time to establish that she was going this level of madness. There was hints that she was going, yeah, she's starting to trickle down that path, but like, not in the sense that she would just go and start murdering civilians and all that. Like, she was so against that throughout this entire series. And season 8, she was like, nah, fuck. Who was that monk guy who was extremely intelligent? Then he just tried to kill Daenerys while he was in the adjacent room or something. Rocket. Oh my god. So in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, I really enjoyed Rocket. I thought it was a funny, humorous thing. When he got drunk at Nowhere, you start to see a bit of those insecurities, how he's like, I didn't ask to be made, I didn't ask to be what I am, like I'm some kind of freak or a monster, but like everyone's laughing at me, and you see those insecurities kind of sprinkled at the start. But then it just gets deeper and deeper. He has a relationship with Yondu in the second one, and he realizes they're actually not much different in terms of personality, and all that stuff. Like, and then he's mean to people all the time in that film because he just wants to push them away. He doesn't want to get close like he did with his friends in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And then we get to see that. And oh my God, the emotion resonance just, oh, so sad, man. I don't think I've ever cried so much in a Marvel movie. That was intense. That was insane. Very well directed and written by James Gunn. Like, he's just sensational, man. That's why I'm excited for his DCU. But this character arc of just going from a selfish kind of like individual, like I don't give a shit about anyone, to just coming back to who he kind of was, I suppose, in a way, and he just embellishes and becomes close with his new Guardians family, and it's just so emotional. And oh, that scene when he has all the raccoons climb on him, because like, I was just thinking about it now, is actually making me like almost tear up a little bit. But it's just such a good character arc, and I think this is one of the best characters in the Marvel MCU franchise. I love Rocket so much, man. Thor, what the hell happened here? I will say Ragnarok was a really fun movie. It was really enjoyable, but I, for one, really enjoyed kind of the more serious notes of Thor. I thought Age of Ultron was the perfect balance. He was saying, like, you know, kind of dry little jokes here and there that were kind of funny, but he was still kind of the intimidating, brooding kind of guy, and he wasn't really like a comedic relief. I preferred that Thor, and sure, Ragnarok and Infinity War and that, like, it was fun. Like, you know, Thor was more jokey, it was a bit more lighthearted, and people started probably to resonate with him a bit more. I understood that approach, I understood it, and Ragnarok, fantastic film, but then we just go shoot way over the barrel and go to Love and Thunder, and he's just cracking jokes like he's drunk off his head, and I'm like, what is happening? This is a bumbling fool. He is not worthy to pick up any hammer anymore. No wonder Jane's picking up that hammer and resurrected the freaking hammer, because Thor does not deserve that shit. He is a, what the hell? Like, I know he was trying to make it more funny. I understand that. I know he was trying to just make everyone laugh out of their seats and go nuts, but to me, it just shot way too far. There was a lot of serious moments in this film of Love and Thunder that I really enjoyed, like Jane having cancer and dying, and then the Thor powers aren't actually healing her, and it's actually making her condition worse. But then we cut to Thor, and he's just bumbling around. He's got the screaming goats, and he's destroying religious artifacts of other worlds, and I'm like, yeah, great, this is funny, yeah, Zeus flicking his clothes off, yeah, and Thor's like, oh my God, like, it's just, no. For me, it kind of ruined the Thor character, and I'm not really looking forward to seeing him come back. I know people are like, I can't wait to see him in Doomsday or this or that, but I'm like, nah, not that fussed. Not that fussed if he comes back either way. Obviously, I would like him to come back in a way, because it's important to have Thor as a part of the Avengers team, but if he's like that, nah, keep him away. I'm not up for it. Sarah Connor. She goes from a waitress in Terminator 1, and she's just like terrified and cannot fend for herself. The Terminator's coming to the police station. She's just literally hiding in the room like, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do. Terminator 2, what a character arc. She's in a mental institution. She is just like, they're like, she has lost her mind thinking a Terminator came from the future to try and kill her. She is just completely emotionally scarred, so she's going to have to stay here and get rehabilitated. But she's a badass now. She knows how to fight. She knows how to defend herself. She knows how to shoot guns. It is phenomenal, and she has so many awesome action sequences here, and just, oh my God, everything about Sarah Connor is amazing in the Terminator franchise, Terminator 2 especially, and cool, it was cool to see her come back in Dark Fate. Like, you know, it was just Sarah Connor being a badass. I don't think that film's that great, but it was cool to see her come back and do a few cool things, like, you know, shoot the guns and blow up a Terminator. Yep, sure, I'm up for that. Dark Phoenix ×2. Marvel Fox didn't mess up Dark Phoenix once, they messed it up twice. So we had it in, I think the first adaptation of Dark Phoenix was actually quite interesting. Like X-Men 1, establishing her part of the team and the character development here and her relationship with Scott and Wolverine, that's interesting. I like that kind of dynamic of that love triangle thing. And then X-Men 2, you start to see there's problems with her powers, there's issues going on here. She's kind of having like a bit like mental things going on. You're like, this is okay, we're seeing up the Dark Phoenix, I like this. Then she comes back in X-Men The Last Stand, kills Cyclops off screen, and then gets sidelined. And we have a mutant cure, apparently. And I'm actually interested in that concept. I actually quite like the idea of a mutant cure being in this film. But why was Dark Phoenix sidelined? And why would you do Dark Phoenix like that? Like, she is such an intimidating, threatening villain who was high stakes, and that could have been a really emotional resonance for the team. And they did a little bit of that with Wolverine, because Scott was, you know, dead in the forest off screen. He left his glasses, though. Woo! And then, so they ruined that, and then somehow that was a better adaptation of Dark Phoenix, because then we come to the next X-Men, and they somehow made it worse, and they did all the, like, comic accurate things, bringing the aliens in. I'm not really familiar with the aliens, but I know they're in the comics of the Dark Phoenix, some of the Dark Phoenix stories. It was just even more poorly written, poorly compelling. Characters were just switching on a whim, and she just had no character resonance of an arc for her to become Dark Phoenix. It just kind of happened in space, and it just kind of was like, yep. And her relationship with her team just made the arc kind of like. That's going to sum up some of the best and worst character arcs in movies and one TV show. Hope you enjoyed the list, and be sure to like, share, subscribe, and all that rubbish. And if you have any other ones you want to jot down in the comments, please let me know in the comments. Like the video, especially if you want to see a part 2. Really appreciate all the support on the channel so far. This has been amazing. You guys have been awesome. Been appreciating all the great comments. Let's go start the video. I'll see you all on the next one.